Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Kaze-Kan podcast with your host Ed Tama 23.
And I'm a mug.
And let me say, it's so good to be back home. A lot of stuff's been going on, but the first thing that happened to me was I went to Dallas for the ACON convention. It was all right. I didn't really. I stayed mostly in the artist alley because my wife was had a table there. I rarely went to any of the panels, but let me tell you, and there's a reason for that. One, the venue for the place was really huge and it was really hot. For anybody outside of Texas, 90 degrees, 95 degrees, that might not seem so bad for some of you, but for a lot of people who were coming to Texas for this convention, they were actually it was really hot for everybody. But since it's up north in Texas, it was a lot of dry heat, so there was not really any humidity. So even though it was hot, at least it wasn't muggy, so there wasn't no cases of swamp ass or really like sweat. I'd be surprised. I'll be honest. I rarely smelled some bo, and that's kind of a godsend in these kind of conventions. But the oh my gosh,
Ain't that a miracle?
yeah, the vendor room was huge. Like I thought it was going to be smaller than Matsuri, but man, oh man, it was crazy. It was big, and was crazier than that was Thursday was a day. It counted. It was day zero for that's what people were calling it. But they opened up the vendors and the artist alley, and people were coming by and people were buying stuff, and it was great. I walked around. It was just to walk around to see the artists was a lot, and then the vendors had their like so there were so many vendors here today. I mean that day. Sorry, not today. Overall, it was a fun experience. Saw some really cool cosplays. Props to the cosplayers because putting on that there was a guy in a really tall all black outfit. He was on stilts and he was outside in the heat, and then it was the middle of the day.
Ugh.
Yeah, props to him, man. There's
How did
some.
he not have a stroke or something?
I bet you he's used to it. That's the only thing I could say because but some cosplayers, they rock that, and I got to give props to that. That's something I wouldn't do because I sweat pretty easily, and that's why I put on deodorant. I shower. I showered every single day we came back and before we left the convention because I was like, I am not gonna be that person that like I sweat enough on in heat. I am not gonna be that one that everybody thinks that smells. Because at least if you see me sweaty, it's like, oh, because he was outside, it was hot. Like there's an excuse to be sweaty, but it's sweaty and smelling. Nah, I'm not gonna be that person.
Yep.
I didn't really buy a lot of figures. I kind of kept that to a minimum, but I did get a few charms from some artists. One of my artists I follow on Twitter, a really cool artist. I think their name's Magister. You could probably find it's probably not too hard if you type that in Magister on Twitter, and they have some really good art. She was really nice, but I think it's a husband and wife because she said that her husband was at another convention selling the same work. But he does a thing where if you play him in Smash, if you beat him, you get a free poster.
Huh.
Yeah. When
Well, well, the question is he good?
well, he posted a picture of his wins and the ratio to losses were small and his wins were huge. I'm pretty sure if he sucked, he wouldn't be making that kind of deal.
Hmm.
But
Is that what characters did he use?
I don't know. I've never actually played him. I would like to. His wife was at this convention, so he wasn't doing any Smash tournaments here.
Hmm.
Sorry for the
So,
chewing if you can hear it. I have a little snack because I don't know. I can't stop eating these snap peas. I don't know why. But
hmm.
what else was a highlight? Oh yeah, a guy that works for Funimation came up to our table and gave us a warning that we're not supposed to be advertising the names. We're not supposed to show the names of animes. Like if you're doing fan art for artists, if you post something like if you say we have Yu Yu Hakusho stuff, you can get in trouble or any kind of anime that has Funimation owns the rights to dubbing because they can take down your booth for that vendor or artist alley.
Yeah. Well, that'll at least explain why I never seen logos on art.
Thanks Funimation. Luckily, the guy was like, he said he's been going around doing this all day, so he was too tired to give us a ticket, and I think he was out of them. So he was just like, yeah, you gotta stop. But I mean, no big deal. I wasn't there when it happened, but my wife told me, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess that's another reason to not really. I don't have a good history with Funimation's recent fiascos and everything that's been going on with them. I don't. I don't.
Copyright is weird.
I'm indifferent to the voice actors, but whenever I hear some Funimation do something, I'm not surprised anymore. And now I have a personal experience with them. Now, granted, again, nothing bad happened, and it was a guy that, but he was still with Funimation. It's nothing personal from him, but his company is making him do that. He's going around the convention making sure people aren't doing that. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Hey, don't underestimate that power. Kind of reminds me of the Nintendo ninjas. It's
Oh,
like you think they're not watching, but then they appear.
oh yeah, I know. I mean, if that I know that for a fact because you see all those fan games get shut down. So
Yep.
again, I get it. I get it. All the problems, fiascos, but it's just let your fans breathe. It's not like if they're yes, if they're going to make profit off of it, take action.
Or here's another thing you can do. You can actually make a game.
Sonic Mania. But okay, so but all I'm saying is that unless they're going to make a profit off of it without your permission, Nintendo, fine, take action. Like if they're saying, yeah, we're gonna make money off of this, fuck Nintendo. Yeah, fine, take them down, whatever. But if they're just like, yeah, I'm not, I'm this is a passion project, I'm not making any money off of it, and they still take it down, I'm like, come on.
I mean, you know how much money they could have made if they put AM2R on eShop.
Who? Or like have like if you buy it, or what if even if they did like I doubt they would have done a. Yeah, no, I could see a virtual shop. I was just kind of getting all. I was thinking maybe like a physical copy with
Now
like
that's
a.
not to say that I'd be all like, oh, the next thing you know, you will want Pokemon Uranium and all these other fan games. No, AM2R had a lot going for it
It made
to the
so
point
much.
to
Yeah,
where it's like we as a Metroid fan, I've yet to receive a proper sequel to Metroid Zero Mission and Metroid 4 for the Game Boy Advance.
yeah. AM2.
No, I'm not counting Federation Force or that jank Samus Returns game.
AM2R had was built from the ground up first of all, and it's not like they took the engine from Metroid engine, Super Metroid engine, and remade it. It was not a ROM hack. Nintendo could have easily just said, "Hey, can we use this for and release it?" Because the sequel,
If I
like,
recall, they were using Game Maker, the same engine for Undertale.
and a lot of other games, game makers,
So
I think people sleep on game maker just because you have to learn a lot of coding from the ground up because unity you can use a lot of assets like so he could have just made a shitty unreal engine 4 that uses ripped Wii brawl models and make this shitty like asset like flipped with
oh, I've
over
seen that happen
saturation and
time.
bloom somebody that's never developed an actual game and just make it like, oh wow, look at this, and then like the frame rate's ass, and it takes you need a high
It's
end.
like we got physics, but it either looks horrible or it just doesn't play well.
I'm saying AM2R does a lot, and you can tell this dude really loves Metroid, and all he wanted to do was make a game that was improved like a whole new thing based on a GBA game. First of all, it wasn't even it's not released on the SNES. It's not like it's there's no high def remake of it other than the one on the 3DS. But that was until after AM2R was pretty much out of the gate. I
Yep.
really think that they just took
And then
a.
people are still updating it to this day.
I still all I'm saying is I think that Nintendo flipped a game quick together as much as possible and called it AM2R. I mean, Samus Returns. Sorry.
Still, they didn't need to do work at all. They could have just yunked it from them and just says this is Samus Returns,
Yeah.
and no one would care.
See,
No
yeah,
one would really care.
and if for
They
people,
would give props to the guy, and then they would look forward to Metroid Prime 4, and that'd be it.
yeah, and for anybody complaining or anybody would say that, well, I would like prefer it if Nintendo made it because they know it's like, first of all, Nintendo is a very small company in terms their game department is like the actual developers is really small. It takes them ages just to come up with the newest game. They announced Breath of the Wild 2. Good luck. I hope that game comes out as soon as it is announced because guess what? Remember what happened to Metroid Prime 4? It got torn up and it's being made from the ground up again. Nintendo doesn't have it has the money, but they don't have the resources to make all these. If they really had the team, you would see a Link, you would see a Zelda game, a Mario game, a Pikmin game. You would see all these games being made left and right.
Wait, Pikmin's still making games?
Well, again, there was supposed to be like Pikmin 4, but what I'm saying is all these games that Nintendo has abandoned could have been made by second party developers or hell, even third party developers. It's like I get that they're very protective of their brand, but sometimes I wonder about that because you see other studios like make their games for the 3DS, and it's like Yoshi's new Island or whatever that game was 3DS, the one that was poorly received. That game wasn't bad, but it wasn't developed by like anybody first party Nintendo. It was like some third party soft guys. And
Yoshi's Woolly Adventure.
these games, I'm just saying, I don't care if Nintendo doesn't make the game. I care about the franchise. And F Zero deserves a game. Come on, people. All I'm saying is give it to a company that knows how to make racing games. That's it.
Yep.
What's so hard with that? Why is that a bad thing? It'd still be under Nintendo's name. You still have to buy a Nintendo product, and Nintendo would make the money. I'm not saying make Sony do it or like Microsoft. I'm just saying a company that has the stuff, resources. Give them the assets to make the
Well,
game.
you gotta understand that Nintendo can only have the vision of what the game is intended to be. If you were to give it to, oh, okay, so Bayonetta was originally for PlayStation 3, 360, and it went to Wii U, and Switch. Like, what happened? Oh wait, it was fine.
But what I'm saying is that Platinum can make Nintendo games, and I wouldn't have a problem because I know Platinum would make games for other consoles. I think that's what they're afraid of. But I'm pretty sure most companies, a lot of indie games that are being on the Switch, they're mostly exclusive to the Switch. Like there are a lot of games that are exclusive to Switch and PC before they're even exclusive to Xbox and PS4. Nintendo has that pool to get indie developers to do games for them. But what I'm saying is that get a really decent studio to make their games that they've abandoned. You know, that's all I'm saying. And I think we're kind of getting off topic, but
Yeah, yeah. I'm
because
just
I
expecting someone to try to use other M as an argument. But that's, well, I don't think we talked about other M in depth, but that's another
that yeah,
episode.
that's another episode. Because my real topic, ironically, was about Shenmue and how recent news came up that Epic is going to be paying for the refunds for people had the PC version but are not happy with it being Epic exclusive. So if you don't want your Epic copy, they will give you a full refund. Not the team of Shenmue, but Epic themselves.
Or they could have just paid for some Steam keys and called it a day. I mean, why
Well,
is this rocket science?
the
People
problem,
expected Shenmue to be on Steam, and it wasn't. You can't be shocked that people are mad at you.
and the thing is that
I mean, it'd be
okay,
like me buying a, I don't know, Xbox One, and then I take it back home. It's not an Xbox One. It's a Nintendo 64.
yeah. But my point was is that it's okay. So be fair for everybody. Yes, for anybody who's gonna be Mr. Wise Guy. Yes, I know it's at this point with Epic, it's not at their fault because Shenmue developers could have said no. SNK recently denied Epic exclusive for one of their recent games for a game that they announced, but Epic
Because they
has
didn't want to fight this.
yeah.
That's simply why.
But that's the thing. You don't have to fight it. The thing, it's not even a thing. They're not like
I mean, I
forcing
can't
people.
really get mad at the developers of Shenmue because they essentially they're making Shenmue 3 from nothing. And so whenever they do stuff, if someone says, "Hey, you want more money?" Yes, they're gonna get more money. Now, as for them going to the Epic store, I know eventually even if they did have it as an exclusive on the Epic Store, two things would happen. Eventually, people would wait for it just to come out on Steam, or the worst case scenario, they just pirate it.
Yeah, but the problem with it being so I think what it's going to bite them in the ass, and this is how I see it happening. I could be wrong, but this is how I see it happening. I see Epic getting these games exclusively and it coming out a later year later on Steam. And the thing is that when a game gets released, a lot of people don't realize that it doesn't matter the game's lifelong experience. What really matters is how many people buy it within like the first month. A year later, the sales of Shenmue are not going to matter. My guess is that Epic has to pay whatever the game has to make to be considered profitable.
But then
With
again, wasn't it going to be on the PlayStation 4 as well?
oh no, see that's the thing. Anything that's console, if anything has a console port, it doesn't matter about Epic when it's about the PC port. So if you got
Uh,
Shenmue on PC, you want it on Steam, you're screwed. But if you got it on PS4, you have nothing to worry about. It's gonna come to the PS4. There's not gonna be no Epic thing. It's just to have it on the Epic Store first. If it
yep.
was an Epic Store exclusive, like no PS4, no Xbox, of course there'd be a riot. There'd be people would be mad. But the problem is that they can't refund the game to be like, hey, no, because what happens is that people would refund it, and it would show that people don't want an Epic Store exclusive. So what they're doing is that oh, we can't do refund, but now Epic is stepping in and saying we'll do the refund, but
And
that
it's a good thing that they're doing the refunds. And why I say that is just because at the same time, there's also a problem with Kickstarter
yeah, of
to
course,
where you can't just hit the money in a split second. It's weird. It's because I was looking into it and I was getting some information that because of how Kickstarter does the paperwork work whenever you set up your Kickstarter, just because you even if you fulfill your goals, you can't use money at your own discretion. It's all up to Kickstarter.
yeah. But for me,
But due to the backlash and them dealing with the Epic Store, they had no choice but to just say, "All right, well, we're not gonna do this. Okay, if I were to do this, would you let me do it?" And then Kickstarter just said, "Okay, do it as long as it's not out of our pocket."
yeah. But okay, so but here's my thing. My thing isn't about Epic or Steam. It's about having a single PC and having all these storefronts. This isn't a problem with Xbox or a PS4. If you have a PS4, any exclusive on the PS4 will be exclusive to the PS4. Same thing with Xbox. But a multi-plat console game will always, if it's going to be on all consoles, you have nothing to worry about. There's no Epic Store on PlayStation. There's no GOG, and I get it. It's a limited hardware, and it's because it's made from a singular company. So you're only going to get the exclusive games and the games that are multi-plat from the in the beginning. But my point is that with the PC, you have so many storefronts, and a lot of them open
Too
before you
much.
when you turn on your computer. I know you could turn the settings off, but most of them are going to be there. You need EA's at origin to download Sims, Apex, Mass Effect, or any other game from EA. But at least with the EA store, you're only getting EA games. With the Epic store, what games do Epic have? I know they're going to have a lot more exclusives now, yes. But there was a game that was released, I think I've mentioned this before, but there's a game released by Supergiant Games, the guys who made Bastion and and Transistor and two other games. Anyway, they have a game exclusive to the Epic Store. The only reason why I knew that because I had Fortnite installed, but I uninstalled Fortnite. I don't know what games are exclusive to the Epic Store, and I don't care because I don't have the Epic Store on my thing. With the Blizzard Store, the only thing is on there that you don't have is Black Ops 4 and Overwatch, but again, Blizzard games.
Yep.
Steam is what people want when they just have games that they know are coming out that are generally going to be on every system, but they want it on their PC.
And they want it now with no. No hiccups.
I'm surprised. You know what's funny? This is something that I would see Apple doing, but Apple's mostly with the
Right?
mobile market. They see themselves as a mobile, so they don't focus on their Macintosh. They don't have a storefront. Like I'm surprised that Apple has implemented a store
Nah,
for
you
their
know how long
exclusive.
it took them to update that trash can?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I could see I could 2000 if this was an issue like in 2010 I could see Apple doing this. I could see Apple buying games to make their store look good, but nobody buys a Mac to play high end games.
What are you
Nobody.
talking about? Of course you do. The only thing you had to do is plug in a graphics card. It's like, bro, I'm already paying $5,000. Why do I need to add to that?
A Mac is good for a lot of casual things except for gaming, but you can
But
game.
why
You
do I
can
have to pay a card to do basic stuff?
and you can game on it, but what do you use? Steam actually has like had games that were available for Mac and Linux too. So what I'm saying is that with PC now we have so many storefronts and it's ridiculous. I get it, it's free, they're free to do it, but what I'm saying is that we don't want that. The consumer doesn't want that. And if anybody says, "Well, that's the future," and then so be it. I won't install Epic. I will wait for that game or not. I could care less. Any game that's come out that's exclusive to the Epic Store and only exclusive, I don't know about it. I don't know
Right?
about it. So who is that really benefiting other than the people that have Epic installed to play Fortnite? And are those people going to buy those games, or are they just simply just using Fortnite as the Epic? Are they using the Epic Store simply for Fortnite? I can tell
Hmm.
you right now, the grand majority of people that have Epic installed are not buying games to play other than Fortnite.
Yep.
And chances are that people that do also have games on Steam.
Bro, I
And
do not have the Epic Store on my machine whatsoever.
I uninstalled it. I uninstalled it because I was like, you know what? I'm more akin to playing Fortnite on PS4. And even I installed it off my PS4 because I was just taking a break from it. But I haven't played it for a while now. It's already on its newest season. Again, I don't. But I can sleep off of Fortnite. I don't care about it. What I'm saying is that Epic as a general storefront is yes, it's legal for them to do it. But what I'm saying is that any game that they've released, I haven't known about it. The only reason I know about Shenmue being exclusive to the Epic Store was because I was all for Shenmue 3 coming out, regardless. PS4, PC, I don't care. I was just glad that Shenmue 3 is even happening. But when this
Yep.
happens, when something is Steam, I would understand if they were like, oh, if you bought it on Steam and you had the option to make it an Epic Store version, I would have been like, you know what, that's fine. But no, it's through
And
the
that's all they needed to do. But it's like, no, 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 you got to get it on the Epic Store. And it's like, yeah, it's like some people will just be like, I don't care. But then majority of people just will either going to be, like I said,
if they didn't
either
touch
they're
it,
going to wait
they
or they're going to pirate. It's one or the other.
the Outer Worlds one, I'm okay. I was like, oh, that's kind of sucks, but it wasn't a Kickstarter game. It wasn't promised to be on Steam, but they were told on the Kickstarter that Steam was going to be the choice because that was the most popular. Why the hell would anybody want to install Epic if they don't have it just to play one game? I get it. I know somebody's gonna say, but people have one game installed to play Fortnite. But what I'm saying is that if they don't play Fortnite and they don't have Epic installed,
Or they don't care about Fortnite.
why would I install this thing that barely works, first of all, to play a game that I was either really looking forward to or I was just like, oh, this would be cool to own because I remember that game. Because let's face it, not everybody here played Shenmue. Some people played it
Hmm.
eventually, but they didn't play it when it first came out because it sold poorly. This is a very niche game. Epic, you spent a lot of money for this to be an exclusive. You better
And we
like
barely
this
got two back then.
this game killed Sega as a console, thing because the Dreamcast didn't sell and Shenmue didn't help either. Why is Epic going out of their way to make a game that was very niche exclusive? If it was a big selling, like, if it was a big title game, I'd be like, you know what, fine, I don't care. Again, Outer World was not promised for the PC Steam exclusively.
I mean, competition with Steam is a good thing, but this whole debacle is just silly.
Yeah, I
I mean,
like
from the
GOG.
decisions and never and the what can I even say? I know someone will make the argument. It was like, well, the developers want to make more money.
But
Yeah, because that always works, right? I mean,
but
just sacrifice the quality of the game so the giants can make more money. I don't worry, the game will be better. We promise.
okay, So you know what this kind of reminds. You know what I thought of? What I just right now. Okay, so this is a mission in Saints Row the Third where you have to get these hookers back for this pimp that you work with, and and basically when you get them, you're in his truck and you have to drive it to the safe zone. And he gives the game gives you two choices. One, to have a lump sum. The bad guy offers you a lump sum, like which lump sum mean. Do you know what a lump sum is? For those of you that don't know, a lump sum is a huge amount of money. Like it's just one big amount. So if somebody owes you something, instead of paying it over time, a lump sum means they just give you the like a giant amount of it. But the other option is that the money you make over time increases by like 15%. So whatever percent of money you make, it gets increased by 15%. So you'll make more money over time. In the long run, that 15% will stay increased. So that's the thing
But
with
from the sound of it, it don't sound like you get all your money back because by paying a great amount of what you owe, that's a great amount, but that's not the whole amount.
what I'm saying is that the lump sum doesn't sound like it's because like it was like $250,000.
Hmm.
And the again it what I'm saying is that would you for let me okay, so for me I'm thinking Epic as the lump sum, and Steam and any other place as over time, because they pay. Okay, so Epic loses a lot, takes a chunk out of their profit to give to the developer, and if that money is almost the amount that they need to be financially successful, fine. But let's say if their game gets released and nobody's really buying it, but they need to make that profit because investors are a thing. Like when you make a lump sum and then that money goes away, obviously money disappears. It doesn't stay in one place. I would rather have a small percent given as long as it goes in. And I know that they're saying that Epic gives a lot more to the developer, but how long is that deal going to last? Because the amount of money that they're spending for these developers to be exclusive.
And then what if the game tanks? It's like how they gonna make that money back?
Exactly. And another thing is that their Fortnite money is not going to last. That bubble is going to burst. People get tired of games. And I know people like watching Fortnite videos and everything, but I think like and that's the thing. Some people rather watch people play Fortnite than actually play Fortnite. And I heard a lot of people didn't really like this season. It wasn't a huge dip, but it was enough for people to notice it.
I see it as Minecraft. It's a phase. People play it. People talk about it. They give it critical acclaim,
But at
and then
least
the next big thing comes out,
but at least
and then the cycle continues.
but at least with Minecraft, it's playable on everything.
Yep, cell phones. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it be on a toaster by the time I'm 80.
So like it's weird how like it's just funny seeing people getting back into Minecraft. But all I'm saying is that I really think Epic hopes I really hope Epic knows what they're doing, because the Shenmue thing is kind of scummy, but in a way it's kind of funny because Shenmue's not a popular series. It's not going to sell like hotcakes when it was. I bet you the only thing that made it successful was going to be the Kickstarter backers, because I don't think a lot of people are going to buy it when it comes out. The only people that want to play it are the people who invested in the Kickstarter.
Yep.
Nobody is going to buy this game just because
I
it's
mean,
Shenmue 3.
the only other thing that can possibly bolster it up a little bit more is if they like re-release one and two. But
No, but that's the
yeah,
thing. Shenmue 1 and 2 is already out. You can buy it almost anywhere. You could for PS4 and Xbox One, you can just go to GameStop and get your version.
yeah, that'll be a small bump, but that's not really expecting much because then people,
Nobody
is
is
either-
waiting outside of GameStop just to buy Shenmue 3.
yeah, because Shenmue is a quirky franchise to begin with.
It's
I
a
love it.
yeah, no, of course I do too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking. We wouldn't be making this. We wouldn't be talking about this for like a good chunk of the podcast. But anyway, ranting over. I'm not mad at Epic. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah,
Uh, Speaking of
I
disappointment,
mean, at least they're not EA.
yeah, I think there was something you wanted to talk about with them.
Yeah, for once, I thought EA was going to take a massive L, but then, like you said, nothing but pure disappointment. Because I heard about a ruling in the EU, how the EU said, oh, loot boxes are all right. I was like, then why did you make a kerfuffle about it then?
Well,
Like, if
yeah,
you were, I mean, y'all made it seem as though y'all were about to
shut it down.
and it was just over in the flash. Just like no, no, it's not that bad. It's like okay, so EA's not gonna learn, and they're gonna continue to be fueled by FIFA and loot boxes forever.
Yeah,
I
but I mean,
thanks.
well, I mean, sad thing is, but not for us because we're not EA. EA kind of really needs loot boxes to survive. Despite them saying there won't be loot boxes in future games, that's what makes
Personally,
their soccer games
I
like
just
sell.
want not to vanish from the face of the planet, but I just want EA to let go of their IPs because they just can't do anything with them that holds substance. I mean, because you can see it throughout their whole history to where if they get a good game, they'll work with it for a little bit, but if it isn't selling a certain amount, then they'll just drop it. But at the same time, when they work on said hit, they don't give the hit game to breathe. It's just we got to make another game. 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 It's like okay, you want to make one money, I get it, but at least give the game some time to breathe before sequels.
Well, I think my problem with EA is that they have a lot of games that are the developer is 6 feet under the franchise is they
I
is
Let me give a
hasn't.
couple examples of what pertains to what I'm trying to say. So, does anyone remember the SSX franchise?
Yep.
How one to three were amazing, and then they tried to do the yearly thing of we gotta make another game, and then we got the crappy on tour, and I don't know what that Wii game was, and then finally it's like, oh well, it's not making any money anymore. More so, yeah, kill the studio, kill the franchise, and then they notice people. Oh, a lot of people are still talking about SSX two. Wow, a lot of people actually like the SSX two, you think, and then finally we're gonna make a new SSX game, and to the critical acclaim of the whole community, which enjoyed SSX, the reboot, it's like, well, it didn't make $1 billion, so we're not investing in it anymore. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
it's like a good franchise dead.
A lot of franchises like that. Look at Ubisoft. They haven't even touched another Rayman game. Although people like I've seen a lot of people on my end who want a Rayman game. I don't think they think it
Nah, you
does
don't want
enough
Rayman,
money.
you want rabbits.
No, no, you want Assassin's Creed. I'm sick of the Assassin's Creed franchise, which is ironic because I'm okay with Watch Dogs, well specifically Watch Dogs 2. But man, I'm just sick of Assassin's Creed and what's their other game? No, that's the only one because Far Cry's not even. I don't even think Far Cry's that bad. Like Ubisoft's not bad, but with EA, problem is that they have games they haven't even like tried to reboot, and when they do, it's like the monkey paw. Like, oh man, I really wish EA would just make a game of this monkey paw mobile game or shitty reboot that dies in like the first few weeks because it sucked.
Yep.
I
And
mean,
so, well, looking at Assassin's Creed, I wouldn't know what to tell you because I didn't care about Assassin's Creed then, and I don't care about Assassin's Creed now.
no, I'm just tired of seeing it. Like, I get it, it's their super seller, but oh my gosh, I don't like they're really stretching out this franchise. Like, it's not even like the Hood and Altair and all those stuff. It's just ridiculous. I
I
just
mean,
don't.
it has potential to be good, but like we're saying, that whole monkey paw. Oh, make another one, quick, and it's like, yeah,
All they had to do was make an Assassin's Creed that takes place in Japan where you could play as ninjas. I don't know why they avoid doing that one. That one's so easy. Why is that one hard? I mean, yeah, it'd be kind of generic, but at least it'd be fun. Who doesn't want to be a ninja? That's all I'm saying. They act like they're above ninjas. Like, ooh, no, that's too obvious. We gotta do something like fucking Spartans. Yeah, those are assassins, masters of stealth, and oh my god, it's just
there are no stealth assassins.
yeah, but I mean,
Oh
they did.
man, God, am I craving a new Tenchu game so bad?
That's what I'm saying. All they have to do is make Tenchu Ubisoft's edition. I don't care if it's like again. I will act. I thought to myself I would get the one that takes place in the USA, but that one I did not. I didn't even try because one I didn't have the money. Two, it was just like like all you had to do was just make it like obviously like Americanized, like because they were like, oh, like they were being arrogant, like, oh, this is the real history. What if we make George Washington a bad guy? And it's like, that's not how you get the American audience, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they would have try to say, "Oh, make Abraham Lincoln a what?" Okay.
You could, if they made Abraham Lincoln a robot, that would have been better than making George Washington a bad guy. But again, this was supposed to be when George Washington, so Abraham Lincoln's a different time period. But
Yep.
all I'm saying is that all they had to do was just kiss America's ass. And I know that they weren't going to do that, but if they did, it would have sold a lot in the U.S. Like when they just screw around and say "F it," we're just gonna make a fun game that's stupid and play like you heard of Far Cry Blood Dragon?
Mm, that looked interesting.
Okay, so anyway, what it like I
But I had a feeling that Blood Dragon didn't really care about the franchise. It's like, here's our thing.
okay, okay.
Take it or leave it. I was like, yeah.
No, it was like that. But here's the thing: for $14, it's the Far Cry 3 engine, but you play this character that's like the 80 American 80s style, where he's like the only I don't do drugs because winners don't do drugs, and it's just like I only love one lady, and that's Lady Liberty. Like it's so dumb, but it's great, and it did good. It's like all I'm saying is that
Yep.
stop trying to be arrogant and just play along with it. Even if you're making fun of America by acting like this guy's like really political, but it's so stupid. Like oh, I love Lady Liberty. That's so dumb. It's great. But like I don't care if you're
It's
making fun
time
of
for
him.
me to
Yeah, I
eat
don't
some
care. I
cheeseburger burgers and pop
yeah,
firecrackers.
I like we know you're definitely making fun of Americans, but that's what we like. That's what Americans like about that. We're so arrogant. We can't even tell that you're making fun of us because we don't care. We don't care. You can make fun of us and it just be like if a dude's waving if you could throw an American flag that has a spear at the end into a dude's chest to show like, oh, Americans are violent, like that's a subliminal message. We just be like,
Or if you wanted to show scene of a heavyweight weight person denying some healthy food for some junk food. Yeah.
like
That it's like we wouldn't get mad.
we don't get
I,
mad
because
because we know and we embrace the stereotypes because we don't again it's like my favorite comedian Patrice O'Neill he says like Europeans and all that stuff. I don't mean to get like I don't no disrespect to anybody outside of America, but the thing is that the reason why we've been number one is so long because we're arrogant like that. Like even if we're not number one right now, we'll still say we're number one and country everybody in the world will hate us for it, but that's what makes us American, like I would love to go to visit other places of the world if I when I have the money, but what I'm saying is that's right now USA. Like like dumb, but that's what makes it great. That's what
yep.
makes it fun. That's what makes Far Cry 5 one of my favorite games. Cause instead of being like, oh, America,
I'm gonna
Assassin
have this deep political agenda.
or like Assassin's Creed 3, they have like, it's like, oh, do we hurt your American pride? Well, that's the truth, and it's just like, that's stupid. But if you play Assassin,
Or like something akin to Duke Nukem. I guess that's what you're
yeah,
alluding to.
Duke Nukem. Okay, Duke Nukem Forever, whatever that game that came out wasn't great, but Duke Nukem as a character is so dumb. He's awesome. And
Or
all I'm
Serious Sam for the matter.
Yes, Okay, we're getting off topic. But like, all I'm saying is that Ubisoft, you are not my least favorite hated franchise company. I like a lot of your games. I like the Far Cry series. The only one I've really been disappointed in was Primal. I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as I thought it would. Far Cry 5 though, you really got me with Far Cry 5. Not so much on
Um,
New Dawn. I didn't like New Dawn and how they changed what made 5 good and tried to implement like leveling up where it was mandatory and it made had RPG elements where it was numbers based. So if you're under leveled to fight these guys in this area, you're gonna get your ass kicked. But you can buy DLC to level up your character faster, which is dumb. Like it had it in 5, but it wasn't so blatant. In New Dawn, which is this one that came after 5, it was so obvious like they wanted you to spend money to progress. Again, like the Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
uh, I honestly,
See
point
how
being, loot boxes are cancer. And can we also agree that if you want a game to be a good game, you have to put time into it? A year or a year plus a couple months, that's not time. I mean, if you were to put like 2 or 4 years into a game, that's all it takes. I
but
mean,
you want
you'd be
to but
surprised how good a game would be if you just put time in it.
But look at it. But you want to know what's funny? Okay, Activision's not the greatest company. Call of Duty
Nah, I'm just
is not the
saying
no
that
no no. I'm
in,
just
in
look look.
reference to EA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But here's the thing, because a lot of games aren't coming out every year anymore. Like people think that it used to be like Call of Duty. Oh, there was every Call of Duty every year, but that's not the case anymore. Even with Assassin's Creed, these games aren't coming out year after year. I think the developers are starting to learn, but the problem is what I think they're doing is that they're just like last minute. Okay, we announced a game. Let's get it create. Like, you ever feel like a game that was in development hell, like Final Fantasy 15? Doesn't that game like I like it, but didn't it like some? You could tell like it almost just felt like they just made the game in 2 years. Like, oh my gosh, we haven't even touched that game. We need to get it out now. Like, and they just built the game as quick as they can.
Yeah,
Because
I
look
mean,
how
because
quick they
it's a big game, but at the same time, whoo, the cut content, which became DLC,
Did you play?
and
Yeah. Did you play the demo that came with Final Fantasy Type Zero?
no,
That game
because
is so that demo is so different from the latest game. I mean official release. But what's funny is that they
it was
actually
different. But I'm not sorry. I'm not gonna pay money for a demo.
but no
I'm
no
just
no.
not.
Here's the thing. What's crazy
Someone
about
else
that?
will pay for the demo, but I'm not.
Yeah, but I was just saying that if you played it, it's so different. It plays the same. It's on the same end. I don't think it's on the same engine, but like whatever it was made in, the combat is so different. Like your weapons, you had to put them in a specific order. Like Nox weapons were all used at the same time. And what you did was that you put in a order what weapon you wanted to use first. Like, what if you wanted to use the heavy weapon first, then your light ones? It was so weird. And the dodging was like you had to hold down the. It still works like the official one, but like you had to hold down the R1 button and then press circle to dodge. But parry, I don't know. It was super weird. But then they changed it. Like they actually updated the game and changed the gameplay because I guess they got the feedback that people didn't like the way the game played. And then the official demo released a Final Fantasy 15, which kind of you played as Kid Noctis and you got a feel of what the game actually. So all the weapons were based on the D-pad, so you changed the weapon you were using on the D-pad,
Which that was a welcoming
which
change.
was fine. Of course it worked. Because let me tell you something, that old version, you can't play that again. But oh my gosh, it wasn't satisfying to play. It was cool to play it, but overall, it was just kind of weird. And I kind of like the way that they kind of went with a more simpler thing. Because let's face it, that game probably wouldn't have done good with that kind of thing. It didn't really do as crazy as they thought it was, but I still think it's a really decent game. The characters
Uh,
are really
it
well.
did all right. I mean, some people will try to say, oh, it doesn't deserve praise. It doesn't deserve this. It's like, well, I guess you would just rather it not come out at all and just have it be vaporware. I mean,
Yeah,
if that's what you want.
dude, I remember reading Game Informer. I looked at all the screenshots and I couldn't wait. Like, as far as it could have been a lot
Now, at the same
worse.
time, if you if you want to criticize them for how it came out, and you just want them to have more effort next time, then okay, I feel you, because not everything. As much as I enjoyed 15, there was some stuff in the game that was just like, yeah,
Yeah,
like some stuff I enjoyed, and then some stuff I didn't enjoy.
but for anybody, let's be clear. Sometimes a lot of people like, and I've been slowly been appreciating the games that I've neglected or haven't played in a while because like every game is not perfect, and I'm not defending shitty games. Let me say this: like Final Fantasy 15 has its flaws, but as far as flaws are, like let me tell you, there are games that people have been waiting for, and when they finally come out, they're like so buggy, they're unplayable. The game is almost you could tell the game's unfinished. This game felt like lacking in certain areas, but as far as like a Final Fantasy 15 game, I'm pretty sure it felt a lot more. I think it felt a lot more than 13. But that's just me. What I'm saying is
I,
that as far as
well,
flaws
that's
go,
another thing. It wasn't 13.
yeah, it's weird. Like, no, I bet you, like, it's the same thing with the Kingdom Hearts 3 game. It's like, guys, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. I liked it. I don't know what like I can understand everybody's complaints with the story, but let's be clear here. This is the
When
Kingdom
did the
Hearts.
story ever make sense to begin
Yeah,
with?
I really
This is the
think.
same story that started off with Sora having a chainsaw and being a furry.
Yeah,
Oh,
I really think that what happens is that people that are new to the series get into it, and since they're not really attached to it, they have all this like, huh, like like I am very critical on things, and I will say that Kingdom Hearts 3 has a lot of flaws. It's not as there's a lot of things that I wish they could have done that made which reason why I love 2 so much. And let's be honest, Kingdom Hearts 3 is not 2. No.
yeah, because two had a lot more to do. And when you went places, it didn't feel like a chore. I'm looking at you, Arendelle. I mean,
Arendelle was the
Frozen,
worst
well,
beloved, yes.
Frozen wasn't a bad movie, but man, I do not want to play it in Kingdom Hearts ever again.
Yeah, that level sucked. But that's because, but like, I feel like if they release another Kingdom Hearts game, or if they add DLC that kind of revamps it, like if they do a final mix, I'm pretty sure this game would be crazy. Like a lot of
Or
people,
have a final mix
I
DLC.
do you know people are mad that Kingdom Hearts 3 is like Kingdom Hearts is not a finished series. Like I can
How
understand like
many games do we have again?
like we have it's a lot, but what I'm saying is that like
No, I'm
it
just asking the honest question. How many games do we have across the franchise and you're mad because we don't have a complete franchise?
not even that. It's just like Kingdom Hearts makes gets a lot of attention and it makes money for it made money for Square Enix other than Final Fantasy.
Yep.
It, Square Enix doesn't have a lot of games under their belt. And yes, I know there's the games like Great Fencer Musashi, like yes, all the SquareSoft games that they can release and whatever. I get it. They could be working on those games, but Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts are the two games that people will hear and say, Square Enix, when are you going to make the next game?
Yep.
It's like the same thing with Atlas. Atlas has a lot of games under their belt, but what do people want? Shin Megami and Persona.
Yep. Oh, you still
Like,
there?
yeah. I'm just, I like. There's so many games out there to play, and everybody's always complaining about this company not making a game instead of like buying an indie game that probably could be what you want. Like,
Well, if they were to make any game besides size, it's not they would care anyway. I mean, when Nier came out, it's like well, Platinum Studios, Square Enix helped them too. So
yeah. But the thing was, is that Nier probably wouldn't have been successful if it didn't get a cult following. There are
yeah.
some games that just don't.
Well, that and it had a good presentation in the demo, which is why
Yeah,
we still need demos today. Because real talk, I did not have interest in their model the way I do. It's just I saw it on the as a demo, and I figured, all right, I'll try it out.
you
And
see,
then it blew my mind. I was like, "Where's the game?
I
I
heard
want
about
it."
I heard about Nier because my friends talked about it. Because I was surprised my friends heard about it, but it was a Square Enix game. It was also a multiplayer game. I think if it was exclusive to PS3, it probably would have died out. But of course, nobody was dumb enough to make a no third party company was dumb enough to make a game exclusive to the PS3. Some were,
Yep.
but and I'm not saying insulting the PS3 because I love the PS3 and I love my games. But what I'm saying is that if it wasn't a Japanese exclusive, chances of it being in a PS3 exclusive was suicidal for your company. So Square Enix couldn't afford to make a game PS3 exclusive. But Nier was
At
like
that time.
a small game, and I think Yoko Taro had some influence. Somebody there at Square Enix loved his work. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to be making games.
Yep.
Um, but because Drakengard was another series, and Nier, Drakengard 3 came out and it didn't sell that well, but they still gave him a chance to make Nier Automata, and that one became a
And
smash hit
I because they enjoyed the mechanics he presented.
because he got Platinum to work on it. And Platinum was in a do or die situation where that game didn't do well. They probably would have went under because Scalebound. put them in a hole, and Microsoft canceled it. So
Thanks, Phil Spencer.
yeah, a lot of people don't. I hope a lot of people that are Xbox fans realize that they almost put one of the greatest hack and slash companies that made Bayonetta and a lot of Beautiful Joe and all these games almost down the drain because of a over ambition.
Yep. It's like, well, you gotta get this out. Oh, it's a perfect example of what I'm telling you when it comes to the whole. We got to get the game out as fast as possible.
So I can understand. I just find it funny. Like that almost makes sense why Nier was a PC and PS4 exclusive. Because I mean, it just recently released an Xbox version, but oh my gosh, imagine if they failed. I don't think that
Oh,
would have ever gone to Xbox, like just out of spite. Cause
yeah.
cause Kamiya put Bayonetta only on the 360 because he didn't like the way the PS3 worked. But Sega demanded that they port it to the PS3. It would have been an Xbox exclusive just because it was easier to work with the engine and work with the Xbox developers kit.
Yeah, because no one wanted to encode for a system that
All these
had.
weird,
Yeah. I mean, they figured it out eventually, but that was like way later on in its life.
yeah, of course, and that's like, but it is what it is. Now PS4 is on top and Nintendo's catching up. But
Very fast, I might add.
of course, Smash Brothers came out. Or she shitting me? And also the whole censorship thing and how they're against it to an extent, of
Ah,
course. But
well, my
no, the,
question is that this a little off topic. Yeah, just going to Smash. Now that we got Banjo and Smash, you think we're gonna get another Banjo for the Switch as a collaboration?
I can sort of
A
see it happening.
multi-port, like one for Switch and one for the next Xbox.
I can see it happening. But
Mm, man, that would be so good.
as far as I know, I don't think they have enough people at the original Rares. Like most of the, oh, sorry, most of the people that worked on Banjo Kazooie moved to Platonic, and most of the Platonic people are working on the next ukulele, which is not even like a open world game like with a hub and everything. Like in the first one, it's going to be more akin to Donkey Kong Country, which is a 2D side scroller.
Yeah, they could just ask them the world work on it,
I doubt it.
and
I think that a lot of them kind of a lot of the like the heavy hitters of that team left Microsoft because God knows what. I'd hate to imagine what it
I
was
mean
like
they could
working.
get those people and have them work on a Nintendo instead of Microsoft. That way they wouldn't have to worry about that dread.
a, a lot of people there's a funny thing I like saying for Nintendo games for franchises that are dead, but Donkey Kong Country as a series has been revived as Donkey Kong, Tropical Freeze and all that. But Retro Studios kind of know what they're doing with these classic games, and if I doubt Retro Studios,
Yeah, they have to, or the community will have high fury on them.
it's just that platformers are right now are the indie scene. There's not a lot of platformers created by main like big AAA titles because mostly the most successful thing is crafting, Minecraft, battle royale, first person shooters, you know, because
How long until we get a?
competitive multiplayer games mostly, and it's just
How long until we get a Minecraft battle royale
there is one, dude.
already?
It's been there. It's called like the Minecraft Hunger Games or something. Yeah, eh.
Mm,
But anyway, not
that
important.
is something I did not know.
There's a lot of stuff in Minecraft I didn't know about. They added so much, but I mean,
I just meant that as a joke with the whole how many developers
it
are
doesn't play
trying
exactly
that
like
tried
Battle.
to hop on the whole we're gonna make our own Minecraft.
Uh,
Or the same people who say we're gonna make our own I insert genre that's only a fad right now.
The thing is that I don't think any company's gonna try to do platformers because Odyssey came out. Can't top Odyssey.
True that.
If they do make a Banjo game, it's gonna be really hard to make what made those games originally good. Even the ukulele, that was poorly received because it just didn't have that,
That
that thing that made Banjo a great game. There was a lot of padding in the game, and there was these mini games that sucked that used Unity assets to recreate these mini games. They were just copy, cut, and paste engine.
I think it was more the line because I guess they wanted to make it more like Tui and whatnot. I guess, but the thing is, I know there are people that like Tui, but I just I cannot get into Tui at all
Banjo's
because it just does it goes to what you're saying. It lacks the spark that made Banjo good.
You're gonna make some fans mad because there's a lot of people that like Tui a lot more than one.
Mm,
Some,
well,
but there could be. I bet you there's a big debacle which one they can deem is better. I'll say it like this:
I
Banjo.
mean, you can say Tui whatever you want. That's not what I believe, and whatever you say is not going to make me change my mind.
No, no. I was gonna
And
say
that's that.
no. My thing was is that
Like if you
Banjo
want to
one.
type a paragraph in the comment section, you're wasting your time.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that Banjo one has that. I get in the game and I just start
I mean,
exploring
it
and I
feels like I can come back to banjo all the time, but Tui not so much. But then again, that's just me.
yeah.
Some people have the opposite reaction to Tui to where they can just keep coming back to Tui. But hey, if you do, more power to you.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong there's nothing wrong with preferring one over the other, but just remember that some people do. There's something about one that it's like Mario 64. You can just jump in and just go. I think
Yeah.
Tui has a lot of story and cutscenes and unnecessary things that go on that just lengthen the games overall. Like I know it's a bad example, but Donkey shows that one clip where Mumbo's using his magic to lift the rock, and it takes forever to get to the other side, and it's just I know that's probably not the overall thing, and you probably won't notice it when you're playing it. But there's just some. I'm just saying
I
that.
think it was kind of the whole time where Rare was kind of doing that tonal shift too, to where we had banjo, then we had banjo Tooie, and then I think didn't Conquer come a little bit after that? That
Yeah, yeah. Conquer was like the last of their overall platformer
I
genre,
mean,
but Conquer had
Conquer
so
was
much
good.
cutscenes.
Like Conquer was good for what it did.
Yeah,
It's
for
just like I said, it just like Tooie just didn't feel right to me.
Conquer has a lot of unskippable cutscenes, and the only reason that it's fun to play is the charm of the like bombastic humor, crudeness, and if your friend has never played it for the like, oh my gosh, what is this game? Like weirdness of the game. It has a lot of like I like the game.
They have a boss known as the Great Mighty Pooh
Yeah, it's a ridiculous
that
game.
is the soprano that is singing about bowel movement.
Yeah, Flop Rano. But what I'm saying is that it has a lot of like stuff that happens in the game, but there's a lot of unskippable segments that are just the joke is, and then they like the Saving Private Ryan. It does like they recreate almost the opening of Saving Private Ryan, which again that's the joke, so I get it not being unskippable. But there's just a lot of parodies of movies to a point where like, yeah, I get it, and it's just like it's not bad.
Metro.
It's that when you want to get to the game, it takes a while. That's it.
Yep.
It's not that the game's bad and the cutscenes are bad, but with like Banjo Kazooie One, you can just jump in. If you want to play it again, you can just play it again and do the jiggies. Like Mario 60, like I said with Mario 64, if you want to play it real quick and just play some, because I know so many people that have like the 120 star save file and they just go in that one. You could just replay any stage over again,
Yep.
and you could just do it. There's no cutscene that tells you, of the
Or you
scene.
do a speed run. One or
Yeah,
the other.
that's why people speed run that game so much. It's just the ability to do all that crazy stuff without the stopping of the cutscene that's unskippable, or this like segment that's unnecessary. Just and not to say that the games are bad. It's just that the ideal way to play them, to get just jump back into them quickly and just like play it for a few minutes. Like you, like oh I gotta go to school in a bit, but maybe I feel like playing some banjo before I go. Like you can't really do that with Tui.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. It's like it's just easier to get into certain games and just jump in and go and put it down real quick. Like if Banjo One had a good Switch port, that'd be like one like oh I could play this before class starts. Just example college like, but with Tui it's just like ugh. So the cutscene happens, so you got to and then the your class starts, so now you gotta put it on rest. And once you get back, once you have your break again, the cutscene's still going because you put it on rest mode because it can't skip it. Stuff like that. It's just like they're minor inconveniences, but in the long run, they kind of notice it. Anyway, speaking of uh, noticing it, I think we're running low on fumes, so I think we'll call it.
No, nah, we still have one more. Remember
What topic?
the the incident?
Oh, let me rephrase that. The last topic before we go.
Yeah.
I think Mug's been wanting to talk about this. So yeah, we'll go ahead.
So me and some friends of mine, I obviously if you've listened to us before, I'm a part of the fighting game community, help people support whoever I can whenever I can. And I had a little bizarre moment, but it only reminded me of a certain other environment that I despise throughout the fighting game community. Cause cause yeah, cause let's be honest, sometimes we have our salty moments, or you had that one moment to where you think your opponent was supposed to lose, but through some random blue mad magic, he was able to get a W, and you're just sitting there speechless, salty and whatnot. That happens. I get that. But what I come across the week prior was just ridiculous. So they had a tournament for Soul Calibur, Samurai Showdown, and Tekken 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so my friend who's trying to get me to go play places around the area because he be telling me, "Hey, you ever heard of this place? Let's go to this place." I was like, "No, I never heard of this. Let's go support it." And so I figured, all right, like play Tekken. I'm gonna get my butt whooped, but and that's a given because it's like I'm out of shape and whatnot. So yeah, I play, but we start off with technical difficulties, which yeah, sometimes that happens. I can have patience with that, but now we get to the point to where it just starts to get stupid. So the guy, obviously, in the fighting game community, whenever you enter a tournament for certain games, Tekken, mind you, usually they run three-mile rounds. The best of two moves on to the next round, and so on, all that good stuff. So the dude rushes to get through the technical difficulties, and I get that. And so then he just starts the game out, and we don't even have the rounds properly set. He just starts it. I was like, okay. And so we but here's the thing. There's a lot more to it. So I come over there for the first time. Like I'm just playing, trying to shake off my rust and whatnot, get back into form.
Yeah.
And I'm having a conversation with this dude, and we having like a good conversation, having a good time. And so supposedly, why my friend pointed out to me throughout the whole entire time, the person that I was fighting against was stalking me, trying to get ready to fight me in the tournament.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, why can't he just, I see you trying to do strategies, but that's kind of creepy. Because I didn't even notice the dude just playing the game of, oh, I'm not paying attention to you, but I'm gonna listen to this conversation and try to figure out a strategy how to beat you. So continuing off of that, so he knows that I like playing like unorthodox. I play as Akuma Geese, Eliza or Elizabeth. I'm forgetting the vampire chick, and
Yeah.
so he says he takes advantage of that and try to play me that way. It's like, so we start the game off in a set, and like the first set was like 2 rounds, but then this is where it gets scummy. So after the first set, I lost, and then he said, "Oh, would you look at this? The rounds are only set to 2. Well, we gotta change it to 3 rounds. But the thing is, you have to use Hakuma." And I was just sitting there like thinking to myself, okay, so you take me for a fool. And so he changes it to 3 rounds, and whenever we were about to play again. This time I just go random pick Jin, and then he's like, "You're supposed to be Akuma." I was like, "Go." I just gave him that look. If you don't do it, I'm. It's like I'm like my fist is pumping up. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we play our set, and then beats me the second time, and then tries to say, good game, and tries to rip his controller out, run to the TO. I was like, and I had to shout at him. I was like, "Hey, you still have one more set." And then he's like, "Oh, but you already played the first set." It's like you knew better, and you knew the rules said that we had 3 rounds, so you have one more round to play. But the thing is, I don't know what it was. I that shook him up for some strange reason to where he got scared of me, which I'm like, "Well, what are you doing, bro?" It's like, yes, he won in the end, and I was just sitting there fuming, not because of the loss. And I was explaining this with the new guy, like the new guy I just met, and the TOs. And the TO said, "All right, like next time, don't wait and go through it. Just tell us." And I was like, cool. They trying to do their job. You can't help it. But the point is, the thing that made me mad again, it wasn't the loss that made me mad. It was the fact of being disrespected,
Yeah.
but at the same time being scummy in that disrespect too, to the point to where the dude just wanted the victory, but in a manner of, I don't care who you are. I just want to win. For It's like, I don't care if I had to do sleazy tactics to do it. I just want to win. And spoilers, he didn't win the tournament at all. I could tell you that right now. It's like he lost. Do I know who he lost to? No, but I do know that from being in the fighting game tournament, those tactics really don't get you that far that fast.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can tell by the people who've actually won tournaments and that's been there for a minute, they don't try to do. that they don't try to exhibit that behavior. Sometimes they'll talk trash. I mean that's a given, that happens sometimes, but they don't get to that point of just, oh yeah, you scrub lord, you trash, and like you know, essentially what it would be, be like if you were to walk in a room to play none but old melee people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I as a topic, we need to do better as a fighting game community, because that is not, like, he's pretty much putting a negative stain on the community at large. Because what if I was someone else? What if I was someone who just wanted to get into fighting games for the first time? Because of that experience, I wouldn't want to go there again. Like, I wouldn't want to go there again, and I wouldn't play games again. If I was a brand new person who didn't know anything about the community or knew anything about anything, that would immediately turn me or anyone else off. And that's what I don't want to see in the fighting game community.
Yeah.
And so the dude who was trying to calm me down, because he was trying to say, oh, he's the quote unquote local pro. It's like, I haven't heard of him. I do not know who he is. I've never seen this man on stream. I've never seen him outside this area or this tournament. So so this whole thing of, oh, I know what I'm talking about, no, you've it's like you've did some scummy stuff to get your victories, but other than that's the only thing I know you by. I don't know you by anything else. So, but be real, Ed. If you were to have an experience like that, would you want to go back to such an environment?
Nah.
Now, obviously, he doesn't. And the thing that makes me mad is he doesn't represent everyone else as a whole. Because the whole place was amazing. It had food on the side. You had people that actually exuberated effort to teach new people. Because this guy, he was trying hard to try to teach me how to deal with deal with the new biomechanics and low parry, and and it's like, and that's what I want to see. It's like, do I know how to do the mechanics? Yes, I do. And but the thing is, I'm not. How kindly the dude was trying to help me out. He wasn't trying to be an asshole.
Oh,
He
excuse me.
wasn't trying to, like, be smart. He wasn't trying to do this whole, oh, you're a scrub, you need to get good. It's like, oh,
Oh, excuse
you
me.
in a tournament? Oh, okay. I'll sit and play with you. It's like I got a lot of L's, but he was paid patient and he was willing to say, oh, so I noticed you do this a lot with this character. So try to do this, and this with character, so you get better. And that's what it means to be in the fighting game community. I mean, you're gonna have some crazy moments. You're going to have some salty moments, but it is the community.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Is it?
I do. For the life of me, I don't even know the dude's name. I that's how little of leeway away the guy has made within the community. But I will want this as an issue to the forefront of the HEC, to where obviously it's not everyone, but we don't want people like him to be the face of the
Yeah.
FGC. Because that's what made because that's what would gives the FGC a negative connotations and negative stereotypes, because of that guy, the guy who can't have fun, the guy who can't take it too serious, the guy that who doesn't know what deodorant is or a toothbrush. He's like, we gotta move the face of the FGC from that sad sack to an actual warming, welcome community. It's not to say that we're soft. I mean, because there are going to be some articulate people, but that don't mean what I'm trying to say is even if you trash talk, those same people have tack to the trash talk. I mean, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna rape XYZ or you know, typical 360 talk from back in the day. It's
Yeah.
none of that. I mean, at best you're gonna get is like if someone 10 owes you, like the worst they're gonna say is, man, this is the most easiest $100 of my life. And that's it. Nice, simple to the point, but not too out there. So, but
Hmm.
yeah, like I will go back to that place, but I'll keep in mind because essentially the guy that was walking me, he gave me a warning that there are a total of 5 people that act exactly like him. Everyone else, cool. It's just those 5 people I gotta look out for.
Yeah.
And just a bad message for those who ever do have a similar circumstance to what I've been through. Do not let that reflect the whole community as a whole. I mean, because no matter what community you're in, you're always gonna have that one guy. I mean, like say for instance for football, you got people that like football. Then you got that one guy that takes it a step too far, or for hockey, or chess, or for any other thing that has a following. There will always be that one person. But I hope and truly hope that as a community that we can strive to push that look away that we got because but did you
Hmm.
have anything to add in on that topic?
No, you. If you heard me earlier, I thought we were gonna wrap up. I totally forgot about that topic. But anyway, I think we should wrap it up now.
Yeah.
Now, officially. Well, as usual, I'm your host at Tama23.
And I'm in mug with 50 other more rants to go on for another out now.
Yeah, no, but we got more topics coming up, and we're going to get started on rebuilding not necessarily the brand, but mostly the into like the design and everything. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll see you later.
Look forward to the projects we have in the future, folks.
All right.